Earlier today, Valve unveiled the Steam Deck, their brand new handheld console, and I'm pretty excited for it. In my video earlier today, we talked about the specs, the pricing, the pre-orders, how all that's going to work. And there's a lot more information out there that I wanted to talk about now that I've kind of brewed on it a little bit. Talk about some of the possible cons and pros with this device and kind of elaborate on a little bit of the information, as I saw a lot of comments like saying, oh, can it do this? Or if it's not able to do this, I don't want it type of thing. So I wanted to talk about some of that stuff I saw in the comments. But okay, first up, pre-orders or reservations, as they're calling it, go live July 16th, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you're in other parts of the world, the time is going to depend on where you're at. Take a look at the website for an accurate, time for that. It's only in the US, Canada, European unions, and the UK. Other regions should roll out sometime next year, according to Valve. But okay, don't want to go over everything again, but taking a look at this guy, I did see they updated the website a little more, added some more information, some more pictures and whatnot. They got that gyroscope going on in there to kind of mimic using a mouse, but that's what those touchpads are for as well. The haptic touchpads, they're supposed to mimic being able to use a mouse. Now, there's some concerns with this device that I've seen a lot of people talking about and mentioning, and that's the placement of the buttons and that D-pad. Like, holy crap, when you really look at this, let's look at the diagram right here. That D-pad and the buttons being way up, I'm not sure the comfort level on that until I have one in my hands, but it is a concern a lot of people have brought up that they kind of wish the placement was changed a little bit. I'm hoping with the ergonomics of this thing, it feels fine. I mean, for a lot of games, you may just be able to use the touchpad, but some people want that tactile feel and use D-pad, especially for a lot of those retro indie type games that are on Steam. So that's another thing that a lot of people were bringing up that they had a concern with was, oh, it's got Steam OS, and like that's what we're stuck with. What if like I want to play other PC games? I don't want to just have access to a Steam library and nothing else. Well, that's the cool thing with this is that Valve themselves have said that essentially this is a PC in a handheld form. Don't really think of it as a console. It's a PC just in this portable fashion that it has a controller built into it. That's essentially what they're saying. It does have, their new version of Steam OS. And from what I've seen with that new version of Steam OS, forget what the number is, Steam OS 3.0. Then it does have the KDE Plasma desktop. Now, they have stated themselves that, yes, you can add any software, any operating system, whatever you want that is compatible with this system. It's not just stuck with what's shipped on it, just that Steam OS. If you want to add Windows to it, you could add Windows to it. You could, I'm sure it's going to work multiple ways if you want to just put Windows on it and screw the Steam OS, or if you want to have some kind of dual boot option, maybe have a USB thumb drive that has a portable Windows installation on it, that kind of thing. There's going to be a lot of different options. Micro SD card, it does have a micro SD card slot. So, there's going to be plenty of ways that you can load up other applications, other operating systems. If you want this to be a Steam OS system and then also have the option of booting into Windows, you are going to be able to do that. So you're not just limited to just Steam games, but I still think with just that idea alone of having a Steam handheld playing Steam games on it, I think it's pretty cool. It's a Linux operating system, so going into that desktop mode, you're going to be able to use compatible apps and whatnot for that, operating system. But yeah, a lot of people may want to add Windows, and you're going to be able to. So keep that stuff in mind. Now, the one thing, the way they have the specs listed as far as the size and weight of this thing was all in millimeters and grams. And I know a lot of people out there who watch my channel may not those numbers don't hit you right away. They don't hit me right away. It's the whole system of how measurement works in the US, what we know, right? But as far as how hefty this boy is, it is 1.5 pounds. It's a fat little system here. 1.5 pounds, it's got some weight to it. As far as how wide it is, it's 11.7 inches wide. Tall, 4.6 inches, and then the width, the thickness is 1.9 inches. So it's gonna be about 2 inches, around that, right? So those were some of the things I wanted to discuss today in this video, just kind of some updates there. Like I said, they did put a lot more information here. There's a couple things I kind of accidentally like read over or didn't actually see when I was doing my video earlier. As we were talking about the, let's go back to the specs. So when we were talking about the specs as far as the screen resolution, where is that listed at? 1280 by 800, 1610 aspect ratio. So essentially, like 720p graphics is what we're going to be having here. And that's how this system's going to shine in that portable mode, is that it can handle all these games very well. I watched some videos out there, the early looks from IGN and whatnot, a lot of people discussing those things, and it does look like the system can handle most stuff decently well as far as what has been shown so far, Doom Eternal, Death Stranding, stuff like that. So it's not going to be like the world's most powerful gaming system, but it's just in that portable, form factor, and it's very capable, very capable. So definitely looking forward to that. But the one thing that I did kind of miss, in a sense, even though I updated it right away, was the external connectivity. We did talk about that. So you're going to be able to use any kind of controllers you want. If you want to use this as like a desktop PC and just plug it into a monitor, you can. They are going to sell their own dock separately, yet to be determined how much that's going to cost, if it's going to be available around the same time and whatnot. But they have been upfront that you don't have to use their dock. You can use like a USB-C hub that has like DisplayPort, connectivity, that can send, display information over USB-C, all that good stuff. So you can get a different, hub. Let's say like Valve wants to sell theirs for $100, $150. Who knows for sure? But you could find something that does the same thing for a lot less. You know what I mean? So we'll have to wait and see on the pricing on that. But it's going to be, you could just plug it in and plug it into a monitor. You don't necessarily need that dock, even though some people may like it. But the one thing I did gloss over, I don't know why I read over it, was because that's what my question was. I was like, I wonder if you connect it to a monitor, if it'll support 4K. And yes, it does. Up to 8K 60 hertz or 4K 120 hertz when you plug this into a desktop. So that's some pretty cool stuff, man, with everything they're doing here. I'm a little concerned with the form factor as far as the buttons and the D-pad go. Got me a little concerned. I feel like the placement of like the back buttons looks pretty cool. The shoulder buttons, I think that'll all be fine. But I'm just more so concerned with that D-pad and the A, B, X, Y buttons up top on those corners there. And I did kind of notice that earlier, but I really wasn't thinking about it. But I've seen so many people saying like, man, this placement seems a little weird. I'm really hoping that these engineers who have worked on this, designed this, really like got that down and understand like what they're doing as far as the ergonomics of this. I hope this just makes sense when you actually have it in your hands and it feels good. To me, it does kind of look weird, but until I have it in my hands and know how it actually feels, that's all I could say is it looks kind of awkward. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, I'm really curious how many of you guys out there are really looking forward to this thing. I'm hoping to be able to grab one. As far as the reservations go, $5 down on that reservation tomorrow. I'm sure like most people who want one will be able to get one, but you never know. I mean, as far as how long it's going to take before they ship, the order of shipping, that kind of thing. If they do have limitations on what they're going to be putting up for pre-order, I don't know, but these are just reservations, and then they'll collect the rest from you later on in the year, supposedly. I guess around December is when they're going to start shipping. So we'll have to see. The way it sounds is that they're definitely trying to combat scalpers and resellers and all those nefarious people out there who just want to buy things and resell them and just take away from shit that people really want, because they are having that implemented where you have to have a Steam account. You had to have had it before like June, right, of this year. Like you couldn't have made it today and be fine. You had to have had it prior to June or June and before of this year and have bought a game. That's when the initial pre-orders, that's for the initial. They're not just going to say no if you've never bought, like if you never bought something from us, then you can't buy one of these. That's not what they're doing. It's just for the initial 48-hour period. And then 2 days later, it opens up to anybody if you just made a Steam account or not. But my assumption would definitely be the earlier you get in, the sooner in the shipment process you'll get your device. So as far as the pricing goes on this, it does look a little high to a lot of people as far as what they're doing. I know Gabe has said, like, you know, it was a very tough thing with this price point. And I kind of understand it. I mean, the way this looks and how much they're charging for it, the specs that it has, being like a mini PC starting at the $400 price point seems pretty reasonable to me. It's still a lot of fucking money, ain't no denying that, but it does drastically jump up. I think when you look at the 3 different models, which they all essentially are the same, it's just the memory, and the 512 gigabyte one, the one that's $649, it does have a premium anti-glare etched glass, like screen or whatever. The other ones do not have that. So I've seen a lot of people say, hey, I'm just going to get the $399 one because I'll just be good. And then I just get a micro SD card. And that should be fine for a lot of people if you want to save some money. They all come with a carrying case. So, I mean, that's cool. I like that they added that with it. You're not buying it separate for no $50 or something. But as far as this goes with that eMMC 64 gigs, that's going to dry up pretty quick. Who knows how much of it's going to be available from the get-go, but it is going to be slower memory as far as access goes, booting up, getting into the system, having games start. If you go to the next two, the 256 gigabyte NVMe and the 512 gigabyte, these are going to be faster. The 512, they're saying, is the fastest storage, has the best specs. The 256 is, you know, it's all in the middle there. So it looks like with the pricing difference here is that as far as like cost to, you know, them actually selling it, that $400 one is probably hurting them quite a bit as far as profits go. They'll make that up selling games, obviously, over time. But the jump from that to the next two for those NVMe SSDs is a lot of money considering what those drives would actually cost you. These devices here are not like expandable as far as opening it up and changing out the SSD, changing out RAM, nothing like that. It's just, this is the way the system is. You can expand your storage with micro SD cards, but that is that. So if you're planning on buying one of these, really think about what you're getting yourself into. Specs-wise, they're all the same. It's just about that speed and storage capacity as far as accessing the storage, right? You got to make that decision. It's a lot of money for what you're like getting here. But like I said, I'm going to try to justify the big boy end there, the $650 one. Like, go all in. Like, go big or go home, I guess. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're going to be grabbing one of these. I can't wait. Like, I'm actually really excited for this thing. I've been getting more into PC gaming lately. I recently did a video on the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro laptop, testing that out. I'm really trying to embrace that and kind of expand my channel a little bit with some of that kind of technology. I have a video I've been working on forever, building a gaming PC desktop that I use. I may have to, finish that up and get that out there at some point. Just something I've really been enjoying lately is getting into PC gaming. So this got me extremely excited. Let me know what you think down below. Really do appreciate all of you mofos. And with that said, give you a big ass thumb butt in the face. Boom. Peace out. Bye-bye. I'll catch y'all next time. Bye. Boom. Bye.